Hello and welcome back. I'm Nick of Nick Studios, and let's get right into it. Okay, so today we are continuing our turn tutorial series. Last time we went through the production phase, in which we first produce our tokens and then draw some cards. And so today we are going into the order phase. In the upper left-hand corner of each leader card, the card tells you how many orders the leader has access to. So what can we do with these orders? There are the summon orders, the transfer orders, the movement and attack orders, and lastly, conquer orders. So before we get into the details of the different types of orders, let's have a quick review of the board state. Okay, so from our production phase, we have our 3 conquer territories as well as a construct which generates some power tokens for us. Specifically, 4 Terra power tokens and 1 Pyro power token. So what can we do with these power tokens? Well, with our first type of order, the summon order, we can spend those tokens to play cards. Now here we have a map showing the different legion zones as well as the resource zones. The resource zones are primarily going to be for artifacts and event type cards. So let's get some cards in hand as well as an example legion on the board, and let's go to work. So for the first type of summon order, we have cost summon. That is where you spend a summon order and pay for the power tokens. So let's take a look at one of the cards in our hand, which is going to be the Terracotta Warrior. As you can see here, as with pretty much every card in Doorkeeper, underneath the name, we have the resource cost bar. This lists the specific resources you have to pay in order to play the card. In this case, 2 Terra power tokens, which we have plenty of. So let's pretend that we are spending 2 of those to play the Terracotta Warrior. And so in playing the Terracotta Warrior, we have a couple different options. We can play this card into the already constructed Legion 1, since there are a couple available Legion slots. However, we can also play this into its own Legion, Legion 2, since that is the next available Legion. Each Legion has up to 5 available unit slots, as well as a slot for a siege weapon. So that's cost summoning. Now for set summoning is where you just spend a summon order, specifically a set summon order, to put the card face down onto the board. This is primarily for the resource cards. Here I have a trap and enchantment, both of which are artifacts. The trap specifically has to be set before it can be played. You have to set it on your turn, and usually can pretty much activate it on any other player's turn. So let's have that face down. And then lastly, we have oversummoning. Oversummoning is not a specific type of order. It is instead a card effect, which allows you to play the card for free, in which you don't spend any orders or any power tokens. And so that pretty much covers summon orders. So let's get into transfer orders. So now let's say we have that Terracotta Warrior there and the first slot of Legion 2. What we can do is spend a transfer order, and we can take that card and put it into Legion 1. Now, since this was just moving a card from one Legion to another, this is a 0 for 1 or 1 for 0 type interaction in which we exchange 1 card for no cards. If we were instead to, say, take this Dragon card and switch it out with the Terracotta Warrior in Legion 2, then this would be a 1 for 1 transfer order. Lastly, under the transfer order type, we have Rearrange, where you may reorganize your Legion for just 1 order. So now that we have kind of messed around with the summon and transfer orders to set up our Legions, let's go back to the field and see what these Legions can do. So whenever a Legion is newly formed, it is summoned to the door, and the door is the zone back here at the bottom of your screen where your 3 leaders are, and as you can see, where that die just appeared. So first we have the dash type movement order, in which you may move the Legion up to 2 spaces. As a quick reminder, whenever you summon in a new Legion in the door zone here, it is adjacent to the entire back row. So let's bring this Legion all the way over to the right here and move up 2 spaces, 1 and 2. Perfect. A Legion can only move forward, backward, left, and right unless all of the cards in that Legion have the maneuver trait, which allows the Legion to move diagonally. Next, we have the assault type order, which is a combination of movement and attack, in which the Legion will first move 1 space and then attacks an enemy Legion within range. Just like how Dash was a double movement order, Barrage is essentially a double attack order, in which you may spend simply 1 order and the Legion can attack twice. Now, I'm not going to get into what happens during a skirmish, which is where one Legion attacks another, since that will be covered in our next video for the skirmish phase. And with that, that concludes the movement and attack orders. Lastly, we have the conquer orders. So if your legion is on a territory that is currently unoccupied, you may spend a conquer order to conquer the territory and reveal the card. In this case, we have conquered a prairie. Okay, so now, during our next production phase, we have access to an additional element. In this case, the Lucent element. And of course, since we just conquered a territory, we now get to promote one of our leaders by 1 level. And if this territory was under the control of an enemy player, in addition to promoting one of our leaders by a level, the opposing player would demote one of their leaders by 1 level. And with that, we conclude the order phase. Keep in mind that any additional orders that you still have may be used during your end phase. And of course, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so that you too can enter the door to adventure.